What's up, Adorama fans? Cooper Natov here again for a special video, and today we're heading 3,500 miles south to El Salvador. In this video, we're going to do a quick overview of the Tikee 3 Pro time-lapse camera from Enlaps. For my first post-COVID trip, we chose El Salvador because it's known for its dramatic landscape due to its primarily mountainous geography. From mountain towns to rocky cliffline beaches, I knew El Salvador would be the perfect place to shoot some stunning time lapses. I'll be honest, until right now, I really haven't done that much time-lapse photography. Between getting the settings right, worrying about exposure to the elements, and how to power a camera for an extended period of time, it just felt too complicated. They say that necessity is the mother of invention, and that's where the Tikee 3 Pro from Enlaps comes in. Enlaps looked at how complicated shooting great time-lapse photography was and built a standalone smart camera that's capable of shooting amazing 6K time-lapses and made it accessible to anybody. Instead of just having one lens to capture your scene, the Tikee 3 Pro has two. To create each frame, two images are actually captured and then merged together as a panorama in post. This means you get that super wide-angle field of view without all the distortion from a super wide-angle lens. I know merging a panorama adds an extra step to an already complicated workflow, but actually the My Tikee online software does everything for you. To control the camera, all you have to do is to connect via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to the Enlaps app on your phone. From the app, you can program automatic start and stop times as well as the duration between each exposure. Should you want to set up a super long-term time-lapse, you can actually program it to turn off and on by itself, as well as set up different shooting schedules by date and time. I was in a pretty remote part of the world, so I didn't really get to test this feature, but the Tikee 3 Pro actually has a SIM card slot built in. This allows you to connect to the camera from anywhere in the world, and it will actually upload preview images so that you can make sure your time-lapse is getting exactly what you want. Flicker from changing exposure settings is the easiest way to ruin your time-lapse, but how do you avoid it? Do you change the exposure each frame? Do you lock the exposure in for the entire duration of the time-lapse? How do you deal with environmental changes in light? Honestly, I don't really know. Fortunately, the Tikee 3 Pro is built to be fully automatic and does everything for you. All you have to do is hit record. Once you import your shots into the My Tikee software, it does everything for you. It even gets rid of frames that might otherwise ruin your exposure. Mother Nature is unpredictable, so unless you're gonna babysit your camera for the entirety of your time-lapse, rain is always a potential danger. While I didn't get stuck in the rain, while we were up in the cloud forest, things got super cloudy and the camera got covered in condensation. Fortunately, the Tikee 3 Pro has an IP66 weatherproof rating and condensation was no problem. As I mentioned before, how to power a time-lapse long-term is another huge problem when making time-lapses. So I think one of my favorite things about this camera is the enormous 24,000 milliamp hour battery as well as the built-in solar panel on the top. Due to both of these, I actually never had to charge the Tikee over the entire course of my 10-day trip. Depending on which mode you have it in, Enlaps actually says that you can get up to a 60-day long time-lapse without ever having to charge the camera. With the Tikee 3 Pro, Enlaps has really taken the guesswork out of time-lapse photography. Having a totally autonomous time-lapse setup was awesome on this trip because it meant I could go out and explore with my other camera, or I could sleep in and not worry about the time-lapse starting on time. The My Tikee online software makes the creation of the actual 6K time-lapse super easy and literally anyone can use it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Have a good one.